If you're a dad with little or not so little kids living in your house, you need to hear this. Every year around the Father's Day, you're being programmed, and not in a good way. I'm sure you're doing the best you can. In fact, you're likely determined to be better than your dad, already outscoring your dad in every category there is. Though I highly, highly doubt that you're doing all of it for the title of the guy who mastered how to use a duct tape 20 different ways. Am I right? If you are aiming for higher standards, whether you have kids or want to have kids, after this video, regardless of your dad's story, if he was or still is narcissist, was absent or abusive, or just not emotional there, none of it would matter. Today, I want to share something important, a method to do along with me to redefine your role as a father without the burden of your memory of growing up. By the end of this video, I promise you, if you so choose to do the 3 simple steps that I describe, you will be quite literally free to create your own fatherhood legacy. And what's most importantly, you will change the trajectory for fatherhood for every son and grandson that comes after you. I'm Natasha Clower, clarity life coach for men. I work with men every day. And fatherhood is one of the few areas that my clients will be resistant to bring up. It is one space in their life where often, not always, but they assume the societal fate of falsely thinking that the marginal improvements that they have done so far with their kids is all that they hope for. Today, I want to talk about the father you had, the father you are, and the man you are becoming. The 3 steps that overcome the lessons, the stories, the beliefs that stand in your way. 3 steps to break the generational patterns so the wounds stop with you and you truly become the legacy builder, that unshakable foundation for generations of kids and grandkids after you. What do I mean by programming that's been happening around Father's Day? You probably heard a thing or two about mindset and that we are influenced by everything we see or hear. So this is what I saw walking in the store to look for greeting cards. Look at this. Dad's farts. Another one. Master of the grill. Grill runs out of gas. Dad doesn't. Another one from wife. Leader of the beer cans. It's one thing when you are looking for a card to your dad, you're likely struck by this memory of number of fart jokes and grill jokes that you gave him over the years. There is nothing wrong with this humor, but what I want to point out is what sits behind it. It is the emptiness of memories. It is the void of nothing meaningful to say. It is a lack of courage, a display of vulnerability to say something meaningful. And I'm not blaming you or your dad. I bring this to surface so we can do something about it. Right now, in a few minutes, you will be able to dissolve it. Not the memory, but the impact on you. There is a subtle message that you also receive and accept when you are in the store for a greeting card. The message of which you will be celebrated for. Grilling meat, fixing things, farting, drinking beer, and being the family ATM. No wonder there is little motivation and not a whole lot of reference about fatherhood, especially when things get rough. When you max out on the tricks and tools to make things right, to connect with your growing kids, to become the guy that saves the day. If you're pressed for time, I saved a PDF summary for you. It's free. Click in the description below and you will have it for your reference forever and ever. Otherwise, stick with me and I will walk you through this 3-step process to define your fatherhood trajectory and leave your own father's influence on your life behind. Your relationship with your father, whether he was present, absent, emotionally available, or completely checked out, or a narcissist, if you think you sorted it out or assume you just left it behind, unless you accept it with full forgiveness, it will be running your life more than you realize. And before you click off, forgiveness, the way I describe it, is not what you think. I promised you, you will be free by the end of this video, not years of working on your trauma. Even if you say, oh, I do not hold the grudge against my dad, he did what he could, he did not know better, but the memories, until they're converted to these empowering stories, they will seep into your life until you make a decision to change them, Today, alongside with me, is where I invite you to make that decision to change it. The one scenario I see where my method is pointless is if you've done extensive inner work, that you release the stories, you release the energy at the universal mind, the field level, you transcended the pain, and you experience the love from your father, unobstructed by his influence. Everyone else, stay with me. We will dive into those 3 magic steps and the process to release a useless pre-programmed script out of your life forever. Here's how pervasive it is. Think about it. When you close a big deal, who is the voice in your head? When you feel like you're not enough, that you screwed up, where did that voice comes from? Who is the tone of that critic? The tape that is playing in your head on repeat, reminding you of. When you struggle to be vulnerable with your wife or your kids, what pattern are you repeating and which pattern are you running away from to avoid? Maybe your father worked 80-hour weeks to provide, but never taught you how to be present. Maybe he was critical. Maybe he never was satisfied with your achievement. Or maybe he was just absent. Or maybe he was great with you, but your mom was really running the show, and perhaps you saw him as absent, that his voice didn't matter, that he didn't protect you from the other parent, the mother of the household. Perhaps that's what defined which traits ensure success for you. Programmed to get what you want, and thus you might link being soft-spoken and listening to weakness. We all come from our childhood, but we have a choice of how we view it. Here's what I know for sure. After working with deeper levels of subconscious and quantum energies, regardless of your past, you can't speak long enough to fade your father's story out of your memory. Speaking, rehashing it, does not move it out of the cellular level energy that you carry. You can only override it. Overriding or rewriting it requires accepting it, and secondarily, knowing your destination. The fatherhood legacy you want to create, that's your destination. I bet you never sat down to think about it. Who does it? I bet among your buddies, if you ever come to discuss that topic at a very deep, honest level, you likely have heard or will hear if you ask, I don't know. I just don't want to be like my dad. Focusing on what not to do is really not a plan for success, is it? Sadly, if you were to ask them, but who are you trying to be? The answer would be, there is no answer. If they dug deeper, which is what I do with my clients, the answer is usually, honestly, I don't know. I've never thought of it. Or in fact, I don't know what different will be like. I just know that I don't want to have the relationship with my kids or my wife how my dad did with me and my mom. I want more. So today, we're going to discover how to have more, how to avoid becoming a statistic, one for whom your kids will be picking a card, deflecting a joke, just because they cannot connect with you. I want you to walk away with the vision for who you are and what fatherhood legacy you want to leave behind. 3 steps. You can do it. Step 1, rewriting quite literally starts by rewriting the memory of your past. That starts from doing the work to understand your upbringing story, the one that is playing on repeat in your head again and again. But hold on, I'll walk you through exactly how you can do it. There is no way avoiding the step. Rewriting the script means seeing your life from a different angle. Only then you can see and be free to choose a different path forward. Make sense? Let's begin. Ready? I want you to think to your upbringing, anywhere until you went to college, from the earliest memories that you have to what it feels like recent because they're kind of bright and vivid in your head. What I want you to do is pick the memories that put your upbringing, specifically relationship with your dad, in a positive light. Mentally, list things that were good, lessons that he taught you. Here's a list of ideas to get your mind looking for a new lens. Did he ever cut your food on the plate when you were little so you don't choke? Did he install training wheels on your bike? Did he sit through the horrors of teaching you how to drive and terrified shitless? Did he give you cash to take that girl out? Did he pay for the camps, though you didn't like them at the time, but now they formed some of the nice memories of your formative years? Even if you did everything on your own and he just shut up and stood by the side, that you interpreted that act as non-caring, the act of shoving his fears, frustration, criticism of his low worth because his advice of no value to you. If this doesn't help, think of him for a second as a man, this guy, who found the courage in himself to simply shut up. And that's all he could do, because if he opened his mouth, his pain would be visible. His disappointment with himself that he perhaps felt like not being enough of a dad would become apparent, but not in a way that would serve you. So all he did is stepped aside. And even in that act, that was his courage, that was his support, and that's all he was able to offer. Your step one is to list this story, this view of your dad. If you didn't have a dad, pick the person who filled that role of your dad for you and reflect just the same. Your step two, forgiveness. Yes, big word with lots of emotions, but here my version of forgiveness. I do not need you to establish or re-establish the relationship with your dad. I do not need you to speak to him. I simply want you, in the comfort of your own thoughts, to find the space to say thank you. Repeat after me. I'll walk you through exactly how to arrive at this forgiveness so you experience the freedom going forward. Say out loud or in your head after you completed step one, recalling positive little gestures that he did in raising you. Now say, thank you for giving me life. Thank you for giving me my eyes, my nose, my lips, my body. Without you, I would not be here. Whatever you did, you had your reasons. I will take what I need going forward and leave the rest with you. How does it feel? If this is a whole lot to remember, just print PDF. I have this phrase all laid out there for you so you can repeat it at your own pace. The key is really not the phrases itself, but what it evokes, what feeling it evokes inside. We're going for gratitude and compassion. Whether you like it or not, if it wasn't for him, you would not be here. You wouldn't be watching it right now. And just this act for his presence, to instantiate, to launch your life, we can say thank you and release from our field those things that we carry. Sounds good? Tough, I know. Here's why we need to do it. This leads us to step number 3, liberation. As you feel somewhere in your heart, somewhere midsection, this feeling of love, it feels like warmness or a bit of calmness. Perhaps there is a bit of anxiety because you don't know this feeling or sensation of simple gratitude for life and existence. I want you to ask, to decree your path forward. Repeat with me. In your head or out loud, doesn't matter. No need to decree this face-to-face to your dad. In your mind, your own space is sufficient. This is the beauty of working at quantum level and using this soul-to-soul conversation of forgiveness. We are all energy beings, and you are connecting to your inner wiring and one of the soul of your dad. If you are not too freaked out by now, let's go to this last important step. I want you, with the conviction and feeling of gratitude for life, say, Dad, I wanted to thank you for life. I want to thank you for your journey. I ask your permission to pave the path my way going forward. Not because my path is better, but because it is mine and mine alone to travel. I ask you for your blessing to leave your path with you and go forward unburdened to discover my own way and my calling freely. Once you say all of that, tune into your heart, meaning focus on the center of your chest. You might feel tingly, tight. You might see as if there is a light right there, but feel nothing. You might hear, or you might simply know that the knot was released. That's the permission. Trust that this is a decree of you doing for yourself, not for your dad to bless you. It is a declaration that you send to the universe, to the ether, that from now on you are taking control of your path forward. That from now on you decree the steps you will do or not do, the mistakes that you will own as your own actions for learning and growing, and the joys that you will discover along the way. This is the declaration of your own domain. to be in allegiance with your own wants, needs, and being in control of the stories that shape your life going forward. Remember, parenting isn't about being perfect, acting out of identity of a provider or disciplinarian or the guy who fixes everything. It's about being emotionally available, showing up fully, and modeling what it looks like to be a man who knows his worth, who knows that his worth doesn't come from what he does, but from who he is. The father your children need isn't perfect. He's present. He's growing. He's willing to say, I don't know, and I am sorry, and I love you, without expecting anything in return. But it is also a guy who can receive and accept gifts, who dreams, who knows his shit. He works on it diligently to do better, who is able to be vulnerable and say, I messed up, let's do a do-over, who can take the time to get to know his kid, not to judge, but to accept, to allow his or her path to just unfold, to just be, perhaps just being a witness to the kid's journey, or being a model of what self-discovery looks like. This Father's Day, instead of settling for the world's best dad on a mug, commit to becoming the father your children will thank you for in therapy, not because you damaged them, but because you gave them a model of what healthy masculinity actually looks like. The father you had doesn't determine the father you become. The choice is always yours. If the acceptance, the memories are hard to extract, do not worry. All it means is that your energy is just filled with stress. It's just a little dense. What many guys find helpful is just 2 weeks of this presence detox. A 2-week email reminders that I send every day that created to teach you the skill of awareness, of becoming present by allocating just 5 minutes a day to pause and do the exercise. I'll walk you how to do it on the go, how to make it fun, how it will change your pattern. Small steps, huge results. After you complete this 2-week routine, then try the 3-step release process we talked about today and become free to walk your own path. The link to the present detox as well as the PDF summary of this video is in the description below. Because the best gift you can give your children isn't success, it's your presence. Check it out. And we're not done yet. If you want to see what comes next on your journey, once you know and experience present, what is the point? I invite you to subscribe to my free Quantum Wisdom Download series, where I share the journal, the quantum downloads from tapping through the presence practice that I describe in my 2-week email series into the universal mind for all of the answers you ever wanted to know. The series addresses our deep questions of how to work and swim in the energy of abundance, how to feel the energy of love, what is God and how else you can call that energy, how to let go, and lots more. See you in the next video.